Welcome to Servant of the Fates. Today we're talking to your shadow self, your cloaked guardian, your protector deep within. Pick the card that sparks a memory in you. It has your messages, guidelines below on how to do just that. Feel free to pause this video as you take your pick. As always, timestamps down below. And let's begin. If you chose the Magician, welcome to your reading. It's timeless. You are meant to see it right now. So, messages from your shadow self. We have Temperance, the Page of Cups, the Nine of Wands, the Page of Pentacles. We also have from Lenormand House, the Moon, the Letter, and Coffin. Okay, let's start from the top. Your first message from your shadow self, Temperance and House. So it seems positive on the outside, right? Temperance, it's about balance, things being okay, things being stable, especially with House, security, comfort. But your shadow self is actually telling you that maybe, darling, you are fooling yourself into thinking that things are perfect. Maybe you are settling. Maybe that's really what's happening, okay? Because Temperance is a very positive card, right? Like I said, it's about balance, serenity, peace. But look at him. Things are not okay. There is something wrong. You're on your knees. It's like deep down, you really want something more, right? You are actually outside looking in. You're inside your house, your comfort zone. And maybe you're fooling yourself to think that everything's okay. I have everything I want. But really, it's time to shake things up, right? Perhaps you have a lot of bigger dreams and wishes and goals. But right now, you're feeling so comfortable. You're telling yourself, it's okay. I have enough, but your shadow self is reminding you that you used to be hungry and thirsty for adventure, for more, right? For achievements, for something great. And right now, yes, things appear stable, but deep down, really, you want something more. You want something better. And it's out there, darling. You can take it if you want it. It's time to shake things up in your life and to really go for your dreams, to really chase your wishes and go for your goals, right? Because comfortable is fine. Stable is okay, but there's something better. Happiness, right? Adventure, passion. So it's time to maybe go out of your comfort zone when it comes to your connections, your social circle. Maybe this job that you have, it pays well, but you're not in love with it. Maybe you're in a relationship where it's comfortable, but you're not really passionate about the person anymore, right? There's no attraction. It's more like just, some kind of mellow friendship between the two of you. Well, your shadow self is telling you that life is short. So you have to go out there and really live, darling, right? Of course, in this pandemic, that advice is unlikely to be literal, right? It's not about going out there with no mask on and going to the clubs, going to the bar, going shopping or whatnot, traveling. No, this is something more spiritual, more emotional, right? Maybe you have dreams that you've kind of forgotten about, or some things that you put in the back burner for now. It's time, your shadow self is saying, for you to allow them to reemerge again, okay? Because on the surface, Temperance is balance, House is comfort, but really you're outside looking in. There's so much more adventures and exciting and thrilling things out there, and you deserve them all. You deserve to have fun. You deserve the pleasure, the adventure, and your shadow self is reminding you that you have it in you to go after all of it, okay? So comfort is fine, but there is something better and you deserve it. Your next message from your shadow self is the Page of Cups with the Moon. This is so beautiful. This is like a continuation of your first advice, darling. All of the answers are actually being given to you in your dreams and as signs, as symbols. Pay attention to the numbers that you're seeing, to the symbols, butterflies, kittens, whatever it is. Maybe there's something that you're always seeing right now that it wasn't that often. But now every time you look, there's this number, there's this color, there's this animal, there's this insect or whatever. Maybe in your dreams, pay attention. Maybe you're being given dates, right? Important dates, important numbers, zodiac signs to remember. So all of the solutions as to how you can get out of this gilded cage that you're in right now, right? To go out of your comfort zone, all of the clues are being given to you. Okay, so everything's there. Everything's in your dreams, in your subconscious, the moon, right? Everything is being handed to you in a golden goblet. You just have to really reach out for it, right? So pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the messages, the symbols, the signs that you receive, okay? Because the how is being provided to you by the divine, by the universe. You just have to really open your eyes and listen for the messages as well. Beautiful. Your next message is the Nine of Wands and the letter. Okay, so this is about a person, darling. Right now, there is someone in your midst, and whether or not you've noticed it, you're actually very defensive, the Knight of Wands, around them. Right? You're feeling like you have your walls up every time they're nearby. They're always smiling. They seem to be kind. They seem to be fine, but somehow you just kind of stiffen up when they're around. It's like you just put your walls up and you feel defensive and you feel like you're not safe around them. And maybe you are punishing yourself, scolding yourself. Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? Is the social anxiety? What's up with me? Why am I so pessimistic or negative? Well, your shadow self is giving you this confirmation. Letter is evidence, right? Telling you that you're not being paranoid, right? That your gut is right about this person. There is something wrong with them, right? This person who appears to be charming, but it's like your gut doesn't like them, right? So there really is something wrong with them. They have like hidden motives, or, they want to manipulate people and they're not being honest. So this is your shadow self telling you that you're not being crazy, darling. There really is something wrong about this person, and don't put your guard down, okay? Keep your wall up and be careful around them. That is your third message. Your last is the Page of Pentacles and Coffin. So maybe this is related to this person, or maybe we're talking about someone else. But darling, if you've recently had a new beginning that was bad, like at the first step, at the first stage, it's already bad. Like imagine a first date where he or she is late, right? Like it's negative right at the beginning. It's like it's ended before it even began. Right? Something like that. The beginning itself is ugly. It's not enough. We could be talking about a date, like I said, a relationship, a friendship, right? Some shady friend, or kind of a job, right? Your colleagues, the environment, it feels like there's something funny going on. There's something fishy. Then your advice from your shadow self is to end it, right? Look, if there is something that fell down just as you were grabbing it, right? The beginning, Page of Pentacles, something young, something new. If it disappointed you, right, at the very first phase of this relationship, connection, or situation, then your advice from your shadow self is to end it. Coffin. In Lenormand, coffin, it's not transformation like death in tarot. It's finality, it's ending, it's closure, it's done, 100% over. So this is your advice. If you stick to this beginning, right, that deep down is kind of wrong, because at the start, right, the very first stage, the very first phase, there's already something wrong with it. If you stick with it, it's only going to hurt you. Okay, so whatever this connection, relationship, or situation is, darling, whether it's romantic, financial, or social, something to do with friends, your advice from your shadow self is to let it end. Okay, because it will serve you well if you just, keep this thing or this person out of your life. So there you go, darling. Your messages from your shadow self. The first one, it's time to shake things up, right? Things look stable and comfortable, but there's so much better. There's adventure, there's glory to be had, okay? And how? This is your clue. Pay attention to the symbols, the signs, the dreams that you get, right? Awake or while in your sleep, they're there. Right? They're there for you, and you just have to pay attention to the clues. And if there's someone around you that you're very defensive about, know that you're not being paranoid. There really is something off about this person, and it's best to keep your guard up around them so that they don't hurt you or deceive you or manipulate you or anything like that. This could be another person, another situation or related to this. But either way, if there's this something negative, right, something new and negative in your life, then it's time to end it because it's not going to get better. Okay, so these are your messages from your shadow self, right? These are the messages that might be a little difficult to swallow, but they're coming from inside you, and if you heed them, it will serve you well. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. If you chose the High Priestess, welcome to your reading. It's timeless. You are meant to see it right now. So, messages from your shadow self. We have the Six of Swords, the King of Cups, the King of Swords, the Ten of Cups. We have Snake, Ring, Ship, and Whip. Okay, darling, your first message from your shadow self. If there is someone in your life who is telling you that they've changed, right? That they're different, that they're not going to hurt you this time around, don't believe them, okay? They're still the snake that they used to be. The Six of Swords, this is the card of transition. So someone who's promising that there's something different about them, right? That they're not evil anymore or something like that. Do not trust them. They are trying to deceive you. They are trying to manipulate you. They are going to hurt you once more. Okay, so if there's an ex-lover, an ex-friend, maybe even a family member, right, who came back to your life or is trying to come back to your life, then they're just going to hurt you again, darling, so don't listen to them. This is what your shadow self wants you to know. Okay, but we also have the King of Cups and the Ring, so this is very positive. If this is someone you can't trust, this is someone that you definitely can put your trust in, okay? The King of Cups, this is the card of Scorpio, but we could also be talking about Cancer and Pisces, the other water signs, because the suit of cups is the suit of the water signs, but more particularly, this is the card of Scorpio. If we're not talking specifically about zodiac signs, then this is someone who's very kind and nurturing and loving and caring, but at the same time, they have a very powerful self-esteem. You know, they're influential, they're strong, but also kind at the same time, right? So it's just that beautiful, strong and soft energy, softy, but also a toughie kind of atmosphere and vibe. This is the person that we're talking about, and they are definitely someone that you can trust. Ring, right? This is the card of contracts. This is also the card of marriage. So for some of you, this is a clue as to who you're going to marry someday. A Scorpio, a water sign, someone with this kind of energy, right? So like, that's a little by the way from your shadow self. But if we're not talking about marriage or love, right? This could be just any person like this in your environment, right? We could be in a financial situation, something to do with your job, with your career, right? Friendship, anything like that. Then your shadow self wants you to know that this is someone that you can 100% trust, okay? Not the snake who's promising that they've changed, no, but this, someone who's very kind and strong at the same time, okay? They are someone that's going to be there for you, okay? On the other hand, there's also this other king, the King of Swords. And maybe we're talking about this same person or someone else entirely, but this is also someone who's very bad for you. This is the card of Aquarius. The other air signs are also possible, Gemini and Libra. But again, more specifically, this is Aquarius. If we're not talking particularly about astrology, then this is someone who's actually very intelligent, very intellectual, has a lot of strong self-esteem, but the way that they're showing up in your reading, this is someone cold and distant and emotionally detached, someone selfish, someone manipulative and deceptive. So again, it could be the same person, snake, right? But either way, this person is going to leave you someday. Ship. This is the card of departure. Right? So this person is going to abandon you, no matter what they're saying or promising right now, okay? They are going to leave you someday, and your shadow self, darling, wants you to know that it's best for you to stay away from the influence of this person, okay? So if they're not exuding this energy, if your boyfriend or girlfriend, right, if your friend or your family member or your boss or colleagues or classmates, whatever, whoever's in your life right now, in your social, personal, professional life, if they're not exuding this kind of energy, then you can trust them, okay? If it's someone, especially from your past, and someone who's very airy and cold and distant, then definitely they're just going to leave you. They are just going to manipulate you, deceive you, and desert you. So stay away from them. Okay, it may come off as a negative reading, but not really, because that's why we're asking for messages from your shadow self, so you can avoid these negative situations, right? This is like your warning, your friendly reminder from your shadow self as to what you can do at your present, right, in your future, so that everything is going to be okay. Right? Your last message, see, I told you this is a very positive reading, actually. The 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is the card of ultimate happiness. I mean, 10 cups. Right? It doesn't get any better than that. So, darling, your shadow self wants to remind you that even though life may not appear perfect right now, maybe financially you're struggling, maybe there are some health problems in the family, especially because of this pandemic, deep down, if you really look down, things are actually okay with you emotionally. You're more stable than ever before, okay? Emotionally speaking, spiritually as well. Right? Things are really okay deep down. You are at one with yourself. That is why we have Whip here. Okay? So your reminder from your shadow self is, darling, if there is someone who comes into your life, who comes in your environment and tries to threaten this peace, right? This emotional happiness and satisfaction, kick them out. Right? Whip them out of your life, okay? If there's someone around you who's always criticizing you, a friend or a sister, a mom who always has something negative to say about you, then kick them out of your life. Block them online and in real life, okay? Don't let them threaten this beautiful thing that you earned so hard for yourself, this emotional stability and joy and happiness and peace, okay? So protect it. Right? Whip anyone who tries to hurt you. Of course, not physically. We are not promoting violence, but just learn to treasure this beauty, right? This emotional satisfaction, and protect it from those who do not mean you well. So, darling, these are your advice, your messages from your shadow self. If there's someone who came back from the past recently, promising that they're different now, that they've changed, you cannot trust them. They're still a snake, right? Stay away from them. But if there's someone who's like this King of Cups energy, water sign, Scorpio energy, then you can definitely trust them. But on the other hand, if there's this King of Swords, Aquarius energy, then they're just going to abandon you, desert you, leave you someday. Maybe it's the same snake that we're talking about, so you cannot trust this person. But despite all of these warnings, things are okay. Right? Deep down, the 10 of Cups. So if someone tries to threaten your happiness, kick them out of your life. These are your messages from your shadow self, and if you heed them, it's going to serve you well. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. If you chose the Chariot, welcome to your reading. It's timeless. You are meant to see it right now. So, messages from your shadow self. We have the 4 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the 8 of Swords. We have Scythe from Lenormand. We also have Cross, Tower, and Bear. Okay, so darling, let's start from the top. Your first message from your shadow self is the 4 of Wands with Scythe, okay? The 4 of Wands, this is the card of stability. It's just a minor arcana, so it's not major perfect stability like the Emperor or the Hierophant, but this is, things are okay and fine and happy either way. So your shadow self wants to remind you that even though things are not 100% perfect, everything's okay. You have everything that you need right now, right? 4 wands, 4 corners, 4 walls. You're safe, you're protected. Everything is okay. You're doing fine. You're doing great, okay? But we also have the Scythe. So, darling, your shadow self is saying that if there's someone in your environment, a friend, a lover, a family member, a colleague, a classmate, who tries to take this stability away from you, someone who makes you feel insecure about yourself, right? Someone who tries to attack you, criticize you, then cut them out of your life, right? Scythe. This is not the time to accept this kind of toxic, people and energies and vibes in your life. If there is someone who's so insecure, right? Who's so jealous and envious of you in a very manipulative, snaky, sly way, then cut them out of your life. Don't be shy. This is the time to really, stand up for yourself. Whether this is a longtime friend or, whoever this person is, if they are acting like an enemy, like a snake, someone deceptive, someone jealous and envious, then cut them out of your life. Okay? If this person is meant to really be there for you, someday then they're going to come back. They're going to realize that they're wrong and they're going to apologize. But for now, if there is someone around you who's really trying to hurt you one way or another, then darling, cut them out of your life. Kick them out, block them everywhere, online, in real life. Okay? This is your reminder from your shadow self to really look out for yourself, especially at this moment. Always, but especially right now. Okay? We also have for your second message the Ace of Cups with the cross. This is so beautiful, darling. This is a prediction from your shadow self that a month from now, the Ace of Cups, this is the card of 1 month, someone, a fated love, will enter your life. Okay, cross in Lenormand, this is the card of destiny, of fate. Okay, so from now up to 4 weeks from now, darling, look out for someone, okay? A lover. This beautiful romance is going to enter your life. And for some of you, it's going to be the one, your soulmate, your other half, your life partner. For others, they're not going to be that big and impactful, but still, they are going to be influential and important and a little bit crucial to your growth, to your journey. Okay, so look out for that. How beautiful. Your third message, darling, is a continuation of that. This is a clue as to who this person is going to come in within a month. We have the Ace of Wands and the Tower. The suit of wands, this is the suit of the fire sign. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then when you have this structure paired with the tower, we are talking about their physical characteristics. This is someone tall and slender, darling, okay? Someone with long legs, someone who's very elegant in the way that they walk and the way that they carry themselves. This is not someone who's very bulky or muscly, right? Like I said, someone tall and slender. So this is who we're talking about. And the Tower in Lenormand, this is not about something destructive or tragic. This is about someone who is a fortress, someone very strong, someone who's authoritative, right? Someone who has control of their own environment, of their own lives. Again, fire sign, right? Someone who's kind of aggressive, very driven and ambitious. So this is the person that we're talking about. This is who you should look out for within a month. This is who's going to be fated for you, right? Romantically speaking. And we also have M and S. So this could be their initials, darling. Their first name, nickname, or last name could begin with M or S. So there you go. Your shadow self wants you to know that yes, there might be someone who's out to hurt you, but also there's someone who's about to love you. So that is amazing, right? That is beautiful. There's someone to look out for, someone who can help you overcome any lingering negativity in your life. Your last message is the Ten of Swords with the bear. So this is a bit of a scolding, darling, from your shadow self. The Eight of Swords, this is the card of imagined oppression. This is the card of hallucinated prison, right? So your shadow self is telling you that, darling, sometimes you have this tendency for negativity and pessimism, right? Sometimes you have this tendency to just feel sad out of the blue. You feel like things are not going well, even though everything's actually okay, and you think badly of yourself and your environment and your life, and really things are going smoothly, right? Everything's going swimmingly and everything's amazing, but you have this kind of darkness, pessimism around you, and this is your shadow self looking at you like this bear saying, stop it. Literally just stop it. Look around because there's so much beauty around you. Like we said, right? The Four of Wands, this is the card of stability. This is the card of having something to celebrate. Security, stability, and solidity are there for you. Maybe not in a major arcana way, right? In a perfect way, but it's there to celebrate and to enjoy and to embrace all the same. The Bear is also the card of strength. So your shadow self, darling, is reminding you that you are stronger than you know and smarter than you give yourself credit for. Okay? Things are actually amazing, and you should try to let go of this pessimism, negativity, and dark energy, right? Because it's not going to serve you well, right? Sometimes it's all about happiness and joy, embodying light, embodying this light-hearted, childlike energy so that you can attract more of it, right? And it's coming. We know that a month from now, someone fated is going to come into your life. So these are your messages, your advice from your shadow self, darling. When someone tries to come in and threaten your stability, your happiness, kick them out. Do not even hesitate. But also you have a very strong love, romance message here. A fire sign, someone tall and slender, someone driven and ambitious, someone who's very authoritative and attractive, right? Someone is going to come into your life. They're fated to be your romantic partner. 1 month from now, you should look out for that. But also look out for your own pessimism and negativity and try to embody more lightheartedness, right? In your environment, in the atmosphere around you. These are your messages from your shadow self, and if you heed them, they're going to serve you well. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care. If you chose the Empress, welcome to your reading. It's timeless. You are meant to see it right now. So, messages from your shadow self. We have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Magician, the Moon. We also have from Lenormand, Rider, Way, Stork, and Heart. Wow. Darling, you know, the other piles, the messages that they got were separate. 4 separate messages. But for you, it's all connected. So this is one very strong reminder from your shadow self. Okay? We begin with the Queen of Swords and Rider. The Queen of Swords, she is the most brutally frank of all of the queens. Look at her, her sword's up. This is someone who doesn't let any enemy get away. Okay, anyone who tries to harm her, she is going to hurt them back. Okay, so your shadow self wants you to embody more of this energy. Okay, so when someone comes in with a negative, pessimistic, hurtful, harmful message for you, like the Rider, your shadow self wants you to fight, right? Your shadow self wants you to stand up for yourself. Ironically, darling, the Queen of Swords is also the card of Libra. And Libra has a reputation for wanting harmony so much that sometimes they're kind of a pushover, right? So this is what your shadow self wants you to be careful about, darling, right? Sometimes you're not defending yourself enough, right? And your shadow self is reminding you that you should, okay? You deserve to protect yourself. These people who are trying to hurt you, they should be confronted. Darling, you have to give them what they deserve, right? So this is your very strong reminder from your shadow self. And darling, everything from here on out is just supporting this message. Here we have the Queen of Cups and Way. Way is also called the path, okay? So you are always choosing this path, the path of the Queen of Cups. And darling, she is the opposite, the exact opposite of the Queen of Swords. She is the kindest and the softest of all of the queens, because the Suit of Cups is about emotions, positive emotions, kindness, being nurturing, being forgiving, right? So you are always choosing the path of forgiveness towards your enemies, towards people who are so malicious towards you, darling. This is what you're doing, and your shadow self wants you to stop it. Honestly, stop it. It's too much. Sometimes you think that being kind to others is the right way, you know, turning the other cheek, but your shadow self wants to remind you that sometimes you are too kind to other people, that you end up being unkind to yourself. If you let other people walk all over you and you don't do anything about it, then you're being cruel towards yourself, darling. Okay? So your shadow self is reminding you to let go of this path. This is the path that you're always taking, right? This not defending yourself, letting people push you and abuse you, darling. It's time to let this energy go, and that is exactly what the next pair of cards is saying. The Magician and Stork, right? Look at them. Both of them are turning their back on this Queen of Cups, who's appearing as someone very weak in this spread, right? It's time to turn your back on that energy. Darling, the Magician, you're actually someone who's very powerful. You're intelligent, you're spiritual, you're intuitive, right? You're good at manifesting amazing things in your life. So why do you let other people walk all over you sometimes? You are powerful, so act like it. That is your friendly but strong reminder from your shadow self, darling. And Stork, this is the card of improvement. This is the card of upgrade. So it's time to upgrade the way that you treat yourself. It's time to upgrade your self-esteem. This is your message, your reminder, your advice from your shadow self. Okay? Your last pair, darling, is the Moon and Heart. So again, this is an echo of this pairing, darling. The Moon is the card of confusion and misunderstanding, and Heart is, of course, obviously the card of love. So right now, in your mind, in your heart, there is this confusion as to what kindness or love really means, right? You are too forgiving. You are, you give people too many second chances, and you're too kind. When someone does something bad to you, something negative, you just let it go because you think that is the Christian thing to do. Or if you're not Christian, that is the loving thing to do, right? But your shadow self is saying that actually love is a two-way street. You can't love other people if you don't love yourself first, because you are the source of love. And when that source is damaged, then there's not going to be enough supply for everybody else, right? So right now, darling, your shadow self is saying you're confused as to this concept of love and kindness and forgiveness. And this is your answer from your shadow self. This love is something that right now, especially, you have to give to yourself. Okay? It's not your enemies. It's not the people around you who need your love right now. It's you, yourself, who's yearning for it, and you're not giving it enough, right? So, darling, this is a very strong, heavy message, right? From your shadow self that really it's time to embody this Queen of Swords energy. Okay, when there's someone in your life who's kind of always criticizing you, always trying to hurt you, make you feel insecure about yourself, abusing you, and then apologizing, and then doing it again, it's time to cut them out of your life, right? Put your sword up and cut this person out of your life, okay? This has always been the path that you've taken, that you've chosen, but enough, okay? Because too much kindness towards your enemies is cruelty towards yourself. So, darling, you are powerful. Act like it, right? This is your message from your shadow self. Upgrade the way that you see and treat and love yourself, okay? Right now, there's confusion as to what kindness really means. Kindness right now should be towards yourself, right? Self-love is something that you really have to embody. It's time to prioritize your needs, darling. Okay, this is your message from your shadow self, and if you heed it, it's going to serve you well. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.